Hello, my friends. Thank you for joining me. We're going to go to Luke chapter 5, verse 15 and 16. This is another 5 minutes of faith. All right, we're at Luke chapter 5, verses 15 and 16. I'm also in the beautiful wilderness located somewhere in Arkansas. And I want to talk to you about prayer. It says here in Luke 5:15, however, the report went around concerning him, that's Jesus, all the more, and great multitudes came together to hear and to be healed by him of their infirmities. Verse 16 says, so he himself often withdrew into the wilderness and prayed. I want to talk to you about prayer and the priority of prayer. And Jesus understood that all the ministry he did and the demand that was put upon him and the work that he had to do and everything that God had called him to depended on his ability to know God, to hear from God, to be led by the Lord, to be filled with the power of God. And that came through his pursuit of prayer. I want to talk to you about the priority of prayer and the pursuit of prayer, because there's going to be times in life when there's a demand on you, just like there was a demand on him. It says here the crowds gathered. They demanded him for healing. They demanded of him for the teaching of the word. Now, he's willing to give it, but Jesus knew the only way he could give out was if he first received in. He had to be filled up in order to be poured out. You and I are the same way. Life has demands on us. The cares of this world. There's going to be people who put demands on you. Situations put demands on you. And the only way you and I are going to ever be able to endure and succeed and overcome is when we are pursuing God in prayer. When we're coming and making that a priority, that God, I need you. I need your strength. I need to know you. I need to hear your voice. I need to follow you. And I want you, God. I want you. I need all that you have for me. This is prayer. We need to be in prayer with the Lord, not just praying for stuff, not just asking God to do things for us, but an intimacy with the Father, a fellowship with God, to know that he is my source of strength. He's my source of inspiration, my source of wisdom, the grace and the strength of God that I need. It is my ability to tap into God, my willingness to pursue him, that's going to open that up for me. Again, Jesus withdrew often. It was often. That, again, shows the priority. Jesus understood. And not only was it just for a chore, it wasn't just for something that he did because he felt he had to. No, there was a desire. Jesus hungered for the Father. Do you hunger for the Father? Because if you hunger for God, prayer no longer becomes a chore. Prayer becomes a privilege. Prayer becomes something that we love to do, something that we long to do. It says in 1 Thessalonians 5:17, pray without ceasing. Now, that's interesting. Pray without ceasing. In other words, don't ever stop praying. Well, how on earth am I going to be able to live my life? How am I going to be able to do the things I need to do? Go to my work, go to my job, deal with my family, go shopping, all these things that we have to do. How do you do that while we're praying? It is a condition of the heart. It is an awareness within you that God is always in you, and that you need to be more aware of his presence than even you are of the reality of these woods and the water and everything around you. God is in me. God lives in me. And if that's the case, I'm in constant fellowship with the Father. I'm always praying. I'm always talking. If you go to talk to somebody and you're talking to them and you're having some sort of interaction with them, whether it's good or bad, you need to always be aware the Father's in you. What does God want to say to them? And ask him right there in your heart, Lord, what do you want me to say to this person? In whatever situation you're in, Lord, what do you want me to do in this situation? You wake up in the morning, ask God, what do you want me to do today, God? What's on your agenda? What's on your plan? And as you are always seeking God and walking with God, you're praying without ceasing. Romans chapter 12, verse 12, it says, rejoicing in hope, patient in tribulation, continuing steadfast in prayer. Listen, there's going to be things in life that are going to try to distract you. People may try to distract you. Circumstances may try to pull you away from praying and from seeking God. You cannot let that happen. You've got to make it a priority to pray. Continue steadfastly in prayer. Whenever we go and pray, whenever we're seeking the Father, He's always right there. He will be with us. He'll speak to us. He'll lead us. He'll guide us. He'll answer our prayers. We've got to make it our passion. We've got to pursue. We've got to make it our priority to pray. Amen. Thank you for joining me for another 5 minutes of faith.